Hi, my name is Marcus, and yeah, thanks for reading and listening to the interview here. Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about myself and what I've done and what I want to do and so on. Um, I spent the last 15 years living in different countries. Israel, I lived in London, I lived in Berlin, Tokyo. I was back in my hometown, Sweden, Stockholm, and yeah, now recently here in Munich. Um, I started off with like a design agency, web design agency in '95, and it was a thing I always wanted to do. I wanted to have my own business from the beginning, and I thought it was important to do this with many partners, so that you had many different opinions should it be a discussion. And yeah, funnily enough, we then ended up being five people. Um, so I was working in this for quite some time. We had companies like Ericsson, companies like the Stockholm Business Plan competition, and so on as clients. And after about a year, I decided that I wanted to know more about design. It was one part of the business which I thought was really interesting. I mean, obviously, one part was the entrepreneurial part, but I felt I needed some expert knowledge. So I went to London and I studied design. I also studied art. After this, I worked for Design Bridge, Interbrand, and also Pentagram. And it was a really interesting time. And I always had the feeling I wanted to go back to being an entrepreneur again. So after helping Pentagram open the Berlin office, I quit and took one of the designers with me, and we set up a small little design studio in Berlin called Metaurical, which was successful, but at the same time, it gave us the chance to figure out what we really wanted to do. One thing which I really wanted to do was to grow, because I wanted to have work with more interesting clients, have more budgets to perhaps achieve more creative solutions that we had. Um, but I felt I did not really have the experience to push a studio that far forward. So I thought, well, what is the best thing I can do at the moment? And this is to do an MBA. Um, I did an MBA at the Berlin School of Economics, which was an approach to MBA, which is a bit different. It was 23 students from 17 countries. It was a European Asian business course. I focused on entrepreneurship, marketing, and also on negotiation and cross-culture management, which proved to be quite an interesting challenge. Part of this MBA was to write a thesis, and I went to Japan, to Tokyo. I worked for Daimler, for Daimler Chrysler, and I wrote a master thesis about business models in captive finance, an area which was completely new to me. And I thought by applying creative logic and applying a different way of looking at business development, and also a different way of looking at captive finance, which is a type of business that you have if you, for example, selling cars, and you are then at the same time helping the customers to finance them. So you're basically starting a subsidiary, which is almost like a bank. So you're basically selling them the car, but at the same time you're keeping the car and you are leasing it out to them, creating a better look on the balance sheet for the car company, for example. So I was in Japan for a while. I wrote my master thesis there, went back, finished my MBA, went back to Japan again, and I tried to set up a small publishing company there with a partner. And we came quite far. We attracted investors and so on. And then I went back to Sweden to wait for a new visa. And during this time, I also was offered a job in Scandinavia, in Sweden, in Stockholm, and which I took. Now I'm in Munich since about a year and a half. I worked with as a business development director for a computer game company, focusing on helping small studios achieve and helping them receive finance and helping them get publishers like EA, Microsoft, Sony, and so on. Since about 3 months now, I'm free from this, so to say. It was an interesting adventure, but I wanted to run my own. And I'm now spending a few months looking at different business partners, looking at different offers that I've received. What I want is I want to build up a company again. I want to join a company which has a strong innovation focus, a strong creative approach, and are looking to grow in an organic way. I'm interested in a lot of different areas, and for me, it's very important that I believe in the idea, but it's also very important that the approach is the right, and that that feeling of that the other founders and have an understanding for not only how the market works, but also how a company works, and that you also realize that you have external clients and you also have internal clients. And I am going to spend a little bit more time trying to find these right partners and find these right opportunities. And yeah, it would be interesting to hearing from you if somebody has a great business idea, somebody's looking for a partner which has the kind of experience I have. I worked internationally, obviously, for the last 15 years. I worked in many different industries, and I have a good drive and a good way of looking at things, I think, because I apply what I call creative problem solving, which is a way of looking at things, perhaps not from the normal point of view, but try and break them down, just like I work when I work as a designer. Yeah, it would be good to hearing from you, and yeah, thanks for listening.